Today I want to talk about some former head coaches who might be pretty good coordinators and all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time today. I want to talk about some former head coaches that I think could be pretty good coordinators because, shocker, they were all once pretty good coordinators, but there's also a vehicle like most lists to do more than just list some names and rank some things, and I understand that there are folks that really enjoy it. I enjoy list and ranking stuff because it allows for us to do more analysis or more storytelling, and it's easily digestible, and, well, we are given to ranking things and putting things on list. Like, whenever I do a list, like I did one about the 10 best regular season games of 2020. Inevitably, I got to put a 1 through 10 there, and inevitably somebody's going to be like, you didn't put this team in there. And that's kind of the point, right? The point is to be able to talk about these things. So this list, top available coordinators, used to be head coaches. Mostly this comes out of me thinking about Mike Stoops and the jobs that he's turned down and what he has decided to do, which is return to Alabama as an analyst and wait for the right job to become available for him. If you haven't watched that video or the video before it about Mike Stoops in Texas, I encourage you to do so as you get caught up on that. But at the top of the list right now, for me, is Gus Malzahn. For those of y'all that don't know, Gus Malzahn was once offensive coordinator for an Auburn football team that won a national championship. Now, they have what I believe was the greatest college football player on earth of all time, Cam Newton, because if you look at what was around Cam Newton and you look at what he had to do to go win a national championship at Auburn, you're going to kind of push Joe Burrow over here to the side. You kind of push Kyler Murray over there to the side. You're probably going to say some smart stuff like Barry Sanders, RJ, and I'll say, where's the national title? But that's kind of the point there, right? Joe Burrow had weapons, had dudes. Cam Newton had himself. Pretty much, right? And Gus Malzahn. I thought that Gus Malzahn being fired from Auburn was premature, but, they decided to, as they say, move in a different direction, go get Brian Harsin from Boise State. We'll see if that was an upgrade or not. But outstanding coordinator at my alma mater, the University of Tulsa. Outstanding coordinator at Auburn. Hell of a head coach at Arkansas State. And I thought he was pretty good at Auburn as a head coach. Beat Nick Saban a few times. Not a whole lot of people can say that while Nick Saban has been at Alabama. I genuinely enjoy Gus Malzahn. I genuinely think that he is an offensive guru of some sorts, and his putt-putt offense that is all gadget and go and verts is a lot of fun. I think it fits very well with what college football is. Next guy on the list at, I guess, number 2 here is actually Mike Stoops. Mike Stoops, hell of a head coach at Arizona in recruiting coaches to his staff. The results are the results. But the man also got Nick Foles playing football quarterback at Arizona after that dude came out of Austin, Texas. Probably should have got a look from Texas, but didn't. Dudes on his staff are all over now. Like Josh Heupel was on that staff, right? Casey Dunn, offensive coordinator at Oklahoma State, he was on that staff. You go up and down Mike Stoops' staff at Arizona, you'll see a who's who of dudes. I also think that he's been around some pretty good defensive coaches here of late. Charlie Strong was an analyst alongside him at Alabama. Nick Saban unto himself. I think Pete Golding is a hell of a defensive coordinator. But I know that I'm also in the minority there. You could also look at Freddie Roach and what he's done on the defensive line. Carl Scott, what he's done in the secondary. I mean, you can pull a lot of good from what Nick Saban has been able to impart on guys like Mike Stoops. And by the way, Mike Stoops got another national championship before his brother Bob did. Now, Bob's been retired for a few years here, but you get my point here. Mike Stoops got 2 now. Got 2 national championships. That's 2 more than Oklahoma's had in the last 20 years. Also, you can tell that I'm apathetic about the whole Mike Stoops thing. I know the tapes are in there, but, I grew up. I hope you did too. If you didn't, fine, whatever. Jeremy Pruitt, also, I think Jeremy Pruitt is a great defensive coordinator. He's got his own style. He's brash. He's the dude that's going to get in your face mask with his finger, and he's going to pull you around while wearing that dentist smock, not really give a good damn about the offense, or so it seemed. Because you're going to run it up first, you're going to run it on second, you're going to ask Jared Guarantano to bail you out on third. But the defense was also stout, and the defense was putting out talent, and it was developing NFL talent. He was great at Florida State. He was a great defensive coordinator. He's got what you wanted, defensive coordinator, too. think that this Gary Patterson school of I'm just going to make sure the defense is elite and hope that the offense doesn't embarrass us only works at Texas Christian, only works for Gary Patterson. You got to be a little bit different kind of cat to carry that through in a traditional power like Tennessee. Another dude on the list, Will Muschamp. And mostly I wanted to do this because it gets me to tell stories about Will Muschamp and Kirby Smart. So like on the Twitters on Friday night, I dropped a photo of Kirby Smart in a Georgia uniform tackling somebody. And I was like, yeah, that's the head coach at Georgia now. Also, Will Muschamp is rumored to be in the running for the defense backs coach job at Georgia, which basically make him a glorified get-back coach, which I would really enjoy because Will Muschamp is a very intense fellow. Matter of fact, Will Muschamp just got the job under Chris Hatcher with the Valdosta Blazers like about 2000. And they were looking for a secondary coach, and they had like 8 G's in the budget. And he said, who we can get? Well, I play with this dude named Kirby Smart, right? And I knew Kirby's dad, and I think he might be pretty good. So they bring Kirby in for an interview. And Kirby drew 12 men on the whiteboard when he was going through the whiteboard, and Will Muschamp says, hey, hell, we're going to be pretty damn good if we get to play with 12. Chris Hatcher was asked about this, and Hatcher says, it wasn't 12. I remember it being 10. He said his offensive line coach remembers it being 10 too, but it wasn't 11. That's how nervous Kirby was trying to get the job. And we all know what kind of defensive coach Kirby has turned out to be, and I thought it would be interesting and fun for Will Muschamp to return to Athens because both of those dudes are standout, just get after it defensive backs. I don't know about talent, but they were tough as hell. And I would really enjoy seeing them on the same sideline because that's just a lot of fun. Last guy on the list that I thought I should point to is Tom Herman. Tom Herman was one hell of an offensive coordinator at Ohio State, and it was one hell of a lot of fun as an assistant coach. Like, that dude's story of being stuck in traffic, like going to Atlanta and tweeting about it, was fantastic. And I think all of that sort of went away once he got the job at Texas. Remember, Texas got into a bidding war with LSU to get him. They ended up getting stuck with Ed Orgeron, which turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to them in the last 3 years. And Texas is Texas. But before that, Tom Herman was the dude remaking Office Space, right? With the kicking of the fax machine and going to get the grill because he told the kids that if they won this title that he would go get a grill made. And then he got a grill made and was able to convince Ed Oliver to stay at Houston, which is still one of the coolest and biggest recruiting wins of all time. You convinced a 5-star defensive tackle to stay at home at a group of 5 school, and he's going to play in the AFC Championship game this weekend. That is one outstanding story. And those are just a few of the coaches that came to mind, but I was just marking some names down, and I was like, man, all these dudes have been head coaches. All these guys have been outstanding coordinators. It'd be interesting to see if any of those guys gets a job. We'll see what happens with whomever gets the head coaching job at Tennessee and whether or not he wants to hire any one of the dudes that I just mentioned. But I thought it was worth putting out there that they're out there if that's what you want to go do. Now, Will Muschamp just got paid $12 million to go home from South Carolina. Might just want to stay at home, count his money. Tom Herman might want to also stay at home and count his money. A lot of buyout money going around here. $21 million, I believe, for Gus Malzahn. Jeremy Pruitt is going to fight in court to get his money. And, Mike Stoops is still probably getting paid after getting fired midway through the 2018 season after losing 48-45 to Texas. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.